Hi, this is Chef Skip. Today we're going to talk about Prostart Level 2, Chapter 7, Potatoes, Grains, and Pasta. It is exciting to think about the possibilities with potatoes, grains, and pasta. They give us the carbohydrates we need for the energy to live our lives. All potatoes are tubers. These are fat underground stems of the plant that can grow a new plant. However, all potatoes are not the same. Potato varieties differ in starch and moisture content, shape, and skin color. That is why different varieties produce a different end product. Potatoes are categorized by their starch and moisture content. The starch content of any potato increases with the potato's age. High starch, low moisture potatoes are dense because they have a high amount of dry starch. These potatoes, starch granules, swell and separate as they cook, which make them fluffy and high in starch. Low moisture potatoes are best when baked, pureed, or fried. They include Idaho and russet potatoes. Also included in this category are sweet potatoes and yams. Medium starch, medium moisture potatoes are versatile. The high moisture prevents the potato from absorbing some water, and therefore it swells less when cooked. These potatoes are great in holding their shape, so they are good for potato salads and for potato cakes. This category of potato is best for boiling, steaming, sautéing, oven roasting, stewing, mashing, and braising. Medium starch, medium moisture potatoes include Chef's all-purpose, Yukon, Gold, and yellow flesh potatoes. New potatoes are low in starch, high in moisture potatoes. These are smaller, immature potatoes and do not have the same starch levels at this stage of growth. New potatoes are best for boiling, steaming, and oven roasting. Chef or all-purpose potatoes. Characteristics: medium starch, medium moisture, drier and less starchy than russet potatoes, less expensive than russet potatoes, tend to be irregularly shaped, most suited to preparation in which the final step of the potato is not visually important: mashing, pureeing, scalloping, or for soups. Best cooking methods: mashing, pureeing, braising, and sautéing. New potatoes. Characteristics: low starch, high moisture. Immature red potatoes that are harvested when they are very small, less than 2 inches in diameter. Unlike other baking potatoes, new potatoes are higher in sugar. Boiling and steaming brings out the natural sweetness and flavor of the new potatoes. Good to use in any preparation where the potato must keep its shape. Best cooking methods: boiling, steaming, roasting. Russet potatoes. Characteristic: high starch, low moisture. Referred to as Idaho potatoes, although many other states also produce these potatoes. The standard white baking potato. Skin is generally a brownish red color. Flesh is mealy and white. Are available in many shapes and sizes, often used to make French fries. Best cooking methods: baking, frying, mashing, roasting, and boiling. Sweet potatoes. Characteristics: high starch, low moisture, thick skin ranges in color from light to brownish red, have an orange, mealy flesh that is very high in sugar. Unlike the russets or chef potatoes, sweet potatoes are available canned in a sweet, sugary sauce. Available year-round, are popular ingredients in breads, pies, puddings, soups, and casseroles, and can be swapped out with yams. The best cooking methods: boiling, baking, pureeing, roasting. Yams. Characteristic: high starch, low moisture, not related to the sweet potato, originated in Asia, less sweet than sweet potatoes, range in color from creamy white to deep red, have more natural sugar and higher moisture content than sweet potatoes, can be swapped with sweet potatoes. The best cooking methods: baking, pureeing, and frying. Yellow flesh potatoes. Characteristics: medium starch, medium moisture. Have become increasingly popular in the United States in recent years. Common in other parts of the world, including Europe and South America. They produce a golden and buttery flavor. Good, all-purpose potatoes. Yukon Gold is one well-known variety, especially good for potato pancakes. Best cooking methods: mashing, pureeing, baking, and frying. Selecting potatoes. When selecting potatoes, choose potatoes that are dry, firm, and smooth. Do not accept potatoes with dark spots, green areas, sprouting, soft spots, mold, or large cuts or bruising. A wide variety of market options exist when purchasing potatoes. These forms include fresh, frozen, refrigerated, canned, and dried. Value-added forms are also available, such as potatoes cut into shapes. Storing potatoes. Ideal storage temperatures for potatoes range from 45 degrees Fahrenheit to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. This is above proper refrigeration temperatures, so it is best to find cool, dry place for storage. All potatoes are best stored in ventilated containers in indirect light. Potatoes are exposed to light, they may develop a greenish color. The green color is from chlorophyll, and it is itself harmless. However, it is an indication of an increased level of solanine, a potentially harmful, bitter-tasting substance. Potato sprouts can also contain solanine. Cut away and discard sprouts and any green portions before using a potato. Always discard potatoes if you have any doubts about their freshness or safety. It is best to store potatoes for a maximum of 1 week, although some varieties can be stored longer. For example, the maximum storage period for russet and all-purpose potatoes is 30 days. Store yams for up to 2 weeks, and store sweet potatoes for up to 1 week. Preparing potatoes. The potato is one of the most popular vegetables because it's inexpensive, nutritious, versatile, and tasty. Applying any cooking methods, including boiling, steaming, baking, sautéing, deep frying, and pureeing, to produce a number of preparations with special flavors, textures, and appearances. Different potato varieties, based upon their moisture and starch content, will produce different results. The two categories for cooking potatoes are single stage and multiple stage techniques. In the single stage technique, potatoes are cooked directly from the raw state to the finished state by using one cooking method. Boiled and baked potatoes are examples of potatoes cooked with single stage techniques. In a multiple stage technique, potatoes are prepared using more than one cooking method before they are a finished dish. One example of potatoes prepared using the multiple stage method is lyonnaise potatoes. In this recipe, the potatoes are pre-cooked, sliced, and then fried with onions. Whenever possible, cook potatoes in their skins to retain their nutrients. Cover the cut and peeled potatoes in a liquid to prevent discoloring, typically water. Cooking potatoes. Boiling. Boiling is one of the easiest methods for cooking potatoes. In addition, boiling is often the first step in other preparations, such as pureed potatoes. Steaming. Steaming is an especially good cooking method for new potatoes because of the high moisture content. Steam new potatoes until they are very tender. Like boiled potatoes, serve them right away or hold them to use in another dish. Baking. Unlike boiled and steamed potatoes, baked potatoes are always served in their skins. The best baking potatoes are Idahos or russets. There are a variety of ways to bake potatoes. Wrap potatoes in foil prior to baking to keep the skin crispy, which makes the inside less fluffy. Rub the potato with oil to keep the skin soft while allowing the inside to get soft and fluffy. Bake with no foil or oil to leave the skin crispy. Essential skills. Boiling potatoes. Place washed potatoes in a pot of cold, salted water with enough liquid to cover them. Bring the water to a boil and simmer until they are done. To test for doneness, pierce the potato with a fork or knife. If the fork slides easily through the potato is done. The boiled potato can be served immediately or held for an hour. Steaming potatoes. Place washed potatoes into a perforated pan in a single layer for even cooking. Make sure there is adequate space between the potatoes to allow for steam circulation. Steam the potatoes until they are done. To test for doneness, pierce the potato with a fork or knife. If the fork slides easily through the potato is done. The steamed potato can then be served immediately or held for up to an hour. Baking potatoes. Scrub all potatoes clean, no matter the technique. Pierce the potato with a fork to allow heat and steam to escape and prevent the potato from exploding. Cook baked potatoes directly on an oven rack or sheet pan. To test for doneness, pierce the potato with a fork or knife. If the fork slides in easily through the potato is done. The baked potato can be served immediately. Baking dishes. For casserole potato dishes, combine peeled and sliced raw potatoes with heavy cream, sauce, or uncooked custard. Slowly bake these dishes in a buttered pan. Toppings include breadcrumbs, butter, and grated cheese, after which we prepare broils the dish briefly to give it a golden brown color. These potatoes are excellent for banquet service because servers can divide them into individual portions very easily, and they can be held without losing quality. Sautéing. Chef's potatoes are best for sautéing. Sautéed potatoes should have a crisp, evenly browned exterior with a tender interior. Sauté the potatoes in oil or butter, stirring or flipping them frequently until they are golden brown. For best results, serve immediately. Make potato pancakes with grated potatoes and other ingredients. Pan fry them to a crispy brown. They are traditional in many Eastern European cuisines, as well as in American Jewish cooking. They are called latkes. Latkes are traditionally served with applesauce and sour cream. Deep frying. Another popular method of cooking potatoes is deep frying. Use the method to make French fries, cottage fries, steak fries, and many other fried potato dishes. Russet potatoes are best suited for deep frying because of their low moisture content. At service time, fry potatoes in fat heated to 350 or 375 degrees Fahrenheit until golden brown. Deep fry in 2 stages because of the long cooking time. When they are done, place the potatoes on paper towels and season immediately. Do not hold deep fried potatoes. Serve immediately. Mashed or pureed. Pureeing potatoes is another way to prepare them. Pureed potatoes are important as the basis of many other popular dishes, including mashed or whipped potatoes, duchesse potatoes, and potato croquettes. For pureed, whipped, and mashed potatoes, first boil, steam, or bake the potatoes before combining them with other ingredients or mashing. Hold them for service in a bain-marie or a steam table. Refrigerate pureed potatoes that are to be used for other dishes for several hours. Deep frying potatoes. 1. Cut potatoes in appropriate shapes for service. Bâtonnet, country fries, etc. Store in cold water until ready for use. Dry fries completely with paper towels. Blanch fries for 30 seconds in 300-degree oil and drain well. Keep chilled until service. For service, raise the oil temperature to 350. When the oil is ready, deep fry the potatoes until golden brown and cook completely. Season and serve immediately. Mashed potatoes. Cut potatoes into even-sized pieces, approximately 1 inch. Store under water until ready for use. Rinse potatoes and place in a pot with salted cold water to cover. Bring the water to a boil. Boil potatoes until they are tender. Drain very well. Add in seasonings, melted butter, milk or cream. Mash potatoes until almost smooth and serve immediately. Legumes and grains. Legumes are seeds from pod-producing plants. Dried legumes have many uses in cooking, from salads and appetizers to main courses and desserts. They are an excellent source for carbohydrates and fiber. Legumes can be broken down into different categories: beans, peas, nuts, and seeds. Each category has unique properties that give it distinctive flavors and nutrient values. Beans. A bean is an edible seed, often kidney-shaped, from various plants of the legume family. Please note that there are many varieties of beans available that are not on the list, such as heirloom varieties. Black turtle. Large, black exterior, light, creamy interior, a sweet flavor, used in soups, stews, salsas, salads, and side dishes. Cannellini or Italian kidney. Medium, white, kidney-shaped, nutty flavor, used in minestrone, salads, stews, and side dishes. Cranberry. Small, round, maroon markings, nutty flavor, used in soups, stews, salads, and side dishes. Fava or broad bean. Large, flat, oval, tan, popular in Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cuisine, used in falafel, soups, stews, salads, and side dishes. Garbanzo or chickpeas, medium, acorn-shaped, beige, nutty flavor, popular in many ethnic dishes, used in couscous, hummus, soups, stews, salads, and side dishes. Great Northern, large, slightly rounded, white, mild, delicate flavor, used in soups, stews, casseroles, and side dishes. Kidney, medium, kidney-shaped, pink to maroon, full-bodied flavor, used in chili con carne, refried beans, beans and rice, soups, stews, casseroles, and side dishes. Lentils, small, round, varieties include French, European, Egyptian, red, yellow, served as an accompaniment whole or pureed, used in soups, stews, salads, and side dishes. Lima or butter beans, medium, white to pale green, slightly kidney-shaped, buttery taste, used in succotash, soups, stews, salads, and side dishes. Mung beans, small, round, green, sprouted for bean sprouts, ground into flour to make cellophane noodles and bean threads. Navy or Yankee beans, small, round, white, used in baked beans, chili, soups, and salads. Pinto or Red Mexican, medium, beige with brown streaks, kidney-shaped, used in chili, refried beans, stews, and soups. Soybeans, small, red, yellow, green, brown, and black, pea to cherry-shaped, bland flavor, dried version is a mature bean, used in soups, stews, casseroles, and side dishes. Types of peas. The pea is a round, edible seed that is a plant and part of the legume family. Black-eyed, small, beige with black eye, kidney-shaped, used in Hoppin' John, soups, and side dishes. Pigeon or gandoles, heirloom bean, small, nearly round, beige with orange spotting, popular in African, Caribbean, and Indian cuisine. Split pea, small, round, split, earthy flavor, used in split pea soup, salads, and side dishes. Types of nuts. Almonds. A nut is a fruit composed of a hard shell seed, which is generally edible. Description: teardrop shaped, pale tan, woody shell, sweet flavor, available whole in shell or shelled, blanched, slivered, sliced, split, chopped, and ground. Used to produce almond paste, almond butter, and almond oil. Common culinary uses: raw, toasted, or cooked, in baked goods, confections, granola, curry dishes, and is eaten out of the hand. Brazil. Description: large, triangular nut, dark brown exterior, hard shell, white interior, rich nut. Common culinary uses: raw, toasted, or cooked, eaten out of hand, and baked goods. Cashew. Description: kidney-shaped, tan, buttery, slightly sweet flavor, only sold whole. Its skin contains oils similar to those of poison ivy, used to produce cashew butter. Common culinary uses: raw, toasted, or cooked, baked goods, confections, or eaten out of hand. Chestnut. Description: fairly large, round to teardrop shaped, hard, glossy dark brown shell, off-white nut, sweet flavor, available whole in shell, canned in water or syrup, frozen, dried, or pureed. Common culinary uses: raw or cooked, sweet and savory dishes, roasted, boiled, or pureed. Hazelnut or filbert. Description: small, nearly round, smooth hard shell, rich, sweet, delicate flavor, available whole in shell or shelled, blanched, whole, and chopped. Common culinary uses: raw, toasted, or cooked, sweet or savory dishes, baked goods, salads, and cereals. Macadamia. Description: nearly round, extremely hard shell, golden yellow nut, rich, slightly sweet, buttery, available shelled only. Common culinary uses: raw or roasted. Baked goods, confections, and eaten out of hand. Peanut. Description: tan, pod-like shell, papery brown skin, off-white colored nut, sweet flavor, available whole, in shells or shelled, skinned, used to produce peanut butter and peanut oil. Common culinary uses: raw or roasted. Sweet or savory dishes, baked goods, confections, salads, or eaten out of hand. Pecan or pecan. Description: smooth, hard, thin oval shell, two-lobed, brown nut, cream-colored interior, rich buttery flavor, available whole in shell or shelled, halved, and chopped. Common culinary uses: raw or roasted, sweet or savory dishes, baked goods, pie, confections, salads, or eaten out of hand. Pine or pinoli nuts. Description: small elongated kernel, about half an inch long, light tan, buttery, mild flavor. Culinary uses: raw or roasted, sweet and savory dishes, baked goods, salads, and pesto. Pistachio. Description: tan, shell opens slightly when nut is mature, green nut, subtle sweet flavor, available whole in shell, roasted, usually salted, shell sometimes dyed red, occasionally shelled and chopped. Common culinary uses: raw or roasted, eaten out of hand, sweet and savory dishes. Walnut. Description: light brown shell, thick or thin, brown nuts, grown in gnarled segments, tender, oily, mild flavor, available whole in shell or shelled, halved or chopped, pickled, used to produce walnut oil. Common culinary uses: raw or roasted, in sweet or savory dishes, baked goods, confections, salads, or eaten out of hand. Types of seeds. A seed is an embryonic plant enclosed in a protective outer covering called the seed coat, usually with some stored food. Flaxseed. Description: tiny oval seeds, golden or dark brown, mildly nutty, used to produce linseed oil, baked goods, hot and cold cereals. Common culinary uses: baked goods and hot and cold cereal. Poppy seed. Description: very tiny, round, blue-black seeds, crunchy texture, rich, slightly musty flavor, available whole or ground, filling and topping for baked goods, used in salad dressings, popular in cuisines of Central Europe and the Middle East. Common culinary uses: filling and topping of baked goods, used in salad dressings, popular in cuisines of Central Europe and the Middle East. Pumpkin seed or pepitas. Description: small, flat, oval, soft, cream-colored hulls, greenish-brown, oily interior, delicate flavor, available whole or hulled, usually salted. Common culinary uses: raw or roasted, sweet or savory dishes, baked goods, and popular Mexican cuisine. Sesame seed. Description: tiny, flat, oval seeds, can be black, red, or tan, crunchy, sweet, nutty flavor, used to produce sesame oil and tahini paste. Common culinary uses: raw or toasted, sweet and savory dishes, baked goods, confections, or as a garnish. Sunflower seeds. Description: small, somewhat flat, teardrop-shaped seeds, woody black and white shell, light tan seed, mild flavor, available whole in shell or shelled, usually salted, used to make sunflower oil. Common culinary uses: raw, dried, or roasted, baked goods, and salads. Grains. Grains are grasses that grow edible seeds. Grains, along with meals, coarsely ground or crushed edible seeds of cereal grasses, e.g. cornmeal, and flours, are essential for everyday cooking. Whole grains are grains that have not been milled in the milling process. The germ, bran, and the hull of the grain are removed or polished. The hull of a whole grain is a protective coating or husk that surrounds the grain. Bran, a great source of fiber and B vitamins, is the tough layer surrounding the endosperm. The endosperm is the largest part of the grain and a major source of protein and carbohydrate. The smallest part of the whole grain is the germ. It is important because it provides a trace of fat and is rich in thiamine. Grains that are ground and broken down are often referred to as stone ground. In this process, the grains retain more of their nutrients because the germ, bran, and hull are left intact. Common wheat varieties. Berries or whole, unrefined or minimally processed whole kernels, light brown to reddish brown, somewhat chewy texture, nutty flavor, for hot cereal, pilafs, salads, and breads. Bran is separated outer covering of the wheat kernel, brown flakes, mildly nutty flavor, hot and cold cereals, baked goods, bran muffins, used to increase dietary fiber. Bulgur wheat is steamed, dried, and crushed wheat, fine, medium, or coarse, light brown in color, tender, mild flavor, used in hot cereal, pilafs, salads like tabbouleh. Cracked is coarsely crushed kernels, light brown to reddish brown, chewy texture, nutty flavor, used in hot cereals, pilafs, salads, and breads. Farina, polished medium grind wheat, white, flour-like, very mild flavor, used in hot cereal. The germ, separated embryo of the wheat kernel, small, brown, pellet-like, strong, nutty flavor, available toasted and raw, hot and cold cereals, baked goods, used to increase nutritional values in food. Common rice varieties. Arborio, Italian, very short, very fat grain, high starch content, off-white, creamy when cooked, also known as Italian rice. Varieties include Carnaroli, Piedmontese, and Violone Nano, used in risotto and pudding. Basmati, extra long grain, fine, delicate texture, aromatic, nutty flavor, aged to reduce moisture content, available as brown or white rice. Popcorn rice is a variety of basmati, used in pilafs and salads. Brown rice, whole grain with the inedible husk removed, light brown, chewy texture, nutty flavor, available as short, medium, or long grain, used in pilafs and salads. Converted or parboiled, it's unhulled grain soaked in steam before the husk, bran, and germ are removed. Fluffy, separated grains when cooked, very light brown color, used in pilafs and salads. Jasmine, aromatic, nutty flavor, used in pilaf, steamed, or rice pudding. Rice flour, white rice that has been very finely milled, powdery, white, mild flavor, it's a thickening agent, and can be used in baked goods. Sticky, pearl, glutinous sushi. Round, short grain, very starchy, sticky when cooked, sweet, mild flavor, used in sushi. White or polished, husk, bran, germ removed, white color, mild flavor, available as short, medium, or long grain, pilafs and salads, short grain used in making rice pudding. Wild rice, which is not rice at all. Long, thin grain, dark brown, chewy texture, nutty flavor, some marsh grass, unrelated to regular rice, salads, stuffing, often combined with brown rice. Common corn-derived products. Cornmeal, dried kernels, ground to fine, medium, or coarse texture. Colors can be white, yellow, or blue. Variations, corn flour finely ground, polenta, coarse ground, used in hot cereals and baked goods, coating items for sautéing or for pan frying. Corn starch, dried kernels, hull and germ removed, ground to a powder, pure white, used as a thickening agent in a slurry, used in baked goods and coatings. Grits, ground hominy, available in fine, medium, or coarse grinds, used in hot cereal, baked goods, or side dishes, popular in the southern United States. Hominy, dried kernels soaked in lye to remove the hull and germ, available canned or dried, succotash, casseroles, soups, stews, or side dishes. Masa, dried kernels, cooked and soaked in lime water, then ground into dough, pale yellow, moist, variation masa harina, dried and ground to a fine flour, which must be reconstituted to make a dough, used to make tortillas, tamales, and other Mexican dishes. Masa harina is often used in baked goods. Common oat products. Bran, the outer covering of the oat, hot and cold cereals and baked goods. Flour, groats milled into a fine powder and used in baked goods. Groats are whole, usually crushed grain, especially oats, but can be wheat, buckwheat, kasha, or other cereals. Hot cereal, salads, and stuffing. Rolled or old-fashioned. Groats steamed and flattened, very pale brown, almost white, round, flat-like, tender, also available, quick cooking and instant. Hot cereal like oatmeal, granola, and baked goods. Steel-cut Irish or Scotch. Groats cut into pieces, brown, chewy, hot cereal, and baked goods. Other grain varieties. Amaranth, whole or milled into flour. Greens are also eaten. Color ranges from white to tan, gold, or pink. Sweet flavor, used in hot and cold cereals, pilafs, and salads. Barley, hulled and pearled, hull and bran removed. Varieties, grits, flour, nutty flavor, tan to white, used in pilaf, salads, and soups, used to make whiskey and beer. Buckwheat, whole or milled into flour, light brown, mild nutty flavor, used in hot cereals and pilafs. Flour is used for pancakes, bellinis, and baked goods. Kasha, whole to crushed kernels of buckwheat groats, roasted, reddish brown, chewy texture, toasty nutty flavor, pilafs, salads, and breakfast cereals. Millet, whole or milled into flour, bland flavor, used in hot cereals and pilafs. Flour is used for puddings, flatbreads, and cakes. Quinoa, whole or milled into flour, very tiny circles, off-white, mild flavor, used in pilafs, salads, puddings, and soups. Rye, whole, cracked, or milled into flour, ranges from light to dark brown, dense. Pumpernickel flour is very dark, coarsely ground rye, used in pilafs and salads, and flour is used for baked goods. Sorghum, commonly boiled into a thick syrup, porridge, flatbread, beer, and syrup. Spelt, whole or milled into flour, moderately nutty flavor, pilafs, salads. Flour is used for baked goods, substituted for wheat flour for people with wheat allergies. Selecting and storing legumes and grains. Beans and peas are available fresh, canned, dried, or frozen. Dried legumes packaging should be intact with no rips or holes. Canned legumes should be dent-free. Store legumes in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area, away from light and excessive heat. Always discard any beans or peas that appear moldy, damp, or wrinkled. It is possible to keep dried beans for 1 to 2 years. However, they are best when they are used within 6 months of purchase. Whole grains have a shorter shelf life than milled grains. Purchase whole grains in quantities that can be used within 3 weeks. Carefully inspect grains when they are delivered. Check bags, boxes, and all containers to make sure they are intact, dry, and clean. Store rice and grains at least 6 inches above the floor on shelves in a dry, ventilated, and accessible area. Whole grains should be stored in the freezer. Brown rice and wild rice should be stored in the refrigerator. Preparing legumes. Legumes should be rinsed or soaked before cooking. Cook legumes to develop their flavor, to remove harmful substances, and to make them easy to chew and digest. Cook them so they are firm to the bite. Cooking grains. Like legumes, soak grains before cooking them. For example, water softens the outer layer or bran of whole grains such as barley and buckwheat. Food preparers can select from several ways to cook grains, including steaming, pilaf, and risotto. Cook steamed grains in a double boiler with a perforated bottom over simmering or boiling liquid. Properly steamed grains should be tender to the bite and have a good flavor. Pilaf. is a technique for cooking grains in which food preparer sautés the grain briefly in oil or butter and then simmers it in hot stock or water with various seasonings. In the peel-off method, first heat the grain in the pan, either dry or with oil, and then combine it with hot liquid and cook it in the oven or stovetop. The grains will be tender, remain separate, and have a pleasing nutty flavor. Most commonly, food preparers use the risotto method for especially medium grain rice, arborio. Risotto is a very creamy consistency because the starch is released from the arborio rice as it cooks. This starch makes the finished product sticky and creamy. In the risotto method, the food preparer stirs the rice constantly while adding small amounts of hot liquid, usually flavored broth or water, which are absorbed. The starch in the rice is released gradually during the cooking process, producing a creamy texture. The best risotto has a porridge-like consistency and can be served as an appetizer or main entree. The food preparer also can cool and shape it for later use. For example, it could be used for deep-fried balls of risotto with cheese in the center. Softening dry beans. Dry beans need to be soaked and cooked before eating. Sort out any pebbles, debris, or shriveled beans. This is best done on a white plate or surface, so you can see the product more easily. Soaking dry beans softens them prior to cooking. To quick soak, boil dry beans in water for 5 minutes. Turn off the heat and then allow them to soak for an hour prior to cooking, which will soften the beans. The alternative is to soak the beans overnight in plenty of water. If salt is added to the soaking water or the tap water used is very hard, which means it's high in mineral content, the beans might not soften. Discard the soaking water, rinse the beans again, and cover them with clean water for soaking. Cook the beans until they are soft. Flavor beans for recipes when they are fully cooked and softened. Remember, the longer dry beans are stored, the longer they take to soften. Making pilaf. Heat oil or butter in a pan. Add onions and sauté, stirring frequently until softened and clear, or translucent, in appearance. Add grain all at once and sauté, stirring frequently until well coated with oil or butter. Add liquid to the grain and bring to a simmer. Stir the grain to keep it from clumping together or sticking to the pan. Add any remaining seasonings or flavors. Cover the pot and finish cooking the pilaf either on the stove top or over low, moderate heat in the oven. Do not stir the pilaf as it cooks. The grains are done when they are tender, but not mushy. Remove from heat, let pilaf rest for 5 minutes. Serve while pilaf is still hot. Making risotto. Heat oil or butter in a pot or pan. Add onions and sauté, stirring frequently. Add rice and sauté, stirring frequently. Add 1/4 of the liquid to the grain and bring to a simmer. Continue stirring until the rice has absorbed all the liquid. Add remaining liquid, stir, and simmer until the grain absorbs the liquid. Remove the pot or pan from the heat and stir in butter. Serve risotto immediately. Pasta and dumplings. Fast becoming a staple food item in America, pasta is one of the most versatile and convenient foods to prepare. Dried pasta and noodles are essential foods because they store well, cook quickly, and provide a base or accompaniment for many popular dishes. Many pasta varieties can also be purchased fresh or frozen. Colored and vegetable-flavored pastas can add color and nutrition to many entrees. Pasta gets its name from the shape into which it's formed. Acine de pepe. Small, rice shape, served with a variety of sauces, used in soups, salads, and casseroles. Bean thread noodles. Slender, gelatinous noodles made from mung beans. Soups, stir-fries, salads, desserts, and drinks. Common to Asian-influenced dishes. Capellini. Thin, long strands. Thinner version is capellini d'angelo, or angel hair pasta, served with broth, oil, or very light sauces. Couscous. Small, irregular shape, grain-like, similar to coarse sand, hot cereal, pilafs, and salads. Elbow. Short, narrow curved tubes, Serve with a variety of sauces. Used in soups, salads, and casseroles. Farfalle. Medium, bow tie shaped. Served with a variety of sauces. Served in soups, salads, and casseroles. Fettuccine. Thick, long strands, flat, ribbon shaped. Served with a variety of sauces, especially cream sauces. Fusilli. Short, corkscrew shaped. Served with a variety of sauces. Served in soups, salads, and casseroles. Israeli couscous. Larger than traditional couscous, pearl-like, smooth, round balls, chewy texture, sometimes toasted. We find it in pilaf, salads, and soups. Italian couscous. Larger than traditional couscous, irregular shape. We find in salads with fish or tomato-based dishes. Lasagna. Thick, long, flat, wide noodles, ruffled edges, usually used in casseroles. Linguine. Thin, long, flattened strands, served with a variety of sauces, light to heavy. Borchette. Flat, smooth, curved rounds, served with a variety of sauces, served in soups, salads, and casseroles. Orzo. Small, grain-shaped, served with a variety of sauces, soups, salads, and casseroles. Penne. Short tubes, smooth or ridged, diagonally cut, served with a variety of sauces, soups, salads, and casseroles. Rice noodles. Various width, long strands, made from rice flour, common to Asian-influenced dishes. Rigatone. Thick, ridged tubes, served with a variety of sauces, soups, salads, and casseroles. Shells. Small to large, resemble conch shells. Larger shells stuffed, served with a variety of sauces, some soups, salads, and casseroles. Soba noodles. Fine, long strands, ribbon-shaped, Japanese buckwheat pasta, soups, stir-fries, common to Asian-influenced dishes. Spaghetti. Round, long strands, widths range in size, served with a variety of sauces, light to heavy. Udon noodles. Thick, long strands, Japanese noodles, soups, stews, stir-fries, common in Asian-influenced dishes. Vermicelli. Thin, long strands similar to spaghetti, broths, soups, and light sauces. Dumplings are cooked balls of dough that often include filling ingredients such as pork, vegetables, or even sweets. Ravioli, which we refer to as a pasta, really falls under the definition of dumpling. Virtually every type of cuisine has a dumpling dish, from Chinese dumplings to Polish pierogi. Pasta and dumplings are important elements of most cuisines because they are made of inexpensive staple ingredients. They can be used in many dishes. Pasta is used in appetizers, entrees, salads, and even desserts. Preparing and cooking pasta. Prepare pasta and dumplings from a dough or batter that includes a starch such as flour or potatoes and a liquid. Use additional ingredients to add shape, color, texture, and flavor. The basic pasta dough recipe produces a stiff dough that can be stretched, rolled into thin sheets, and cut into desired shapes. Many differences exist between fresh and dried pasta. Fresh pasta cooks very quickly. The pasta is done when it feels firm to the bite, or al dente. Because fresh pasta cooks so quickly, food preparers have no reason to cook it in advance. However, they can hold cooked fresh pasta for short periods for banquet and buffet service, and then reheat it by placing it in a wire basket and dipping it briefly into a pot of boiling water. Cooking dry pasta takes longer than cooking fresh pasta. Like fresh pasta, the food preparer should cook it al dente and serve it as soon as possible. However, dried pasta can be held for a longer period of time. Fresh pasta. For fresh pasta dough, use 4 simple ingredients: eggs, salt, olive oil, and flour. Bread flour, all-purpose flour, or semolina flour. For flavor and color, add fresh herbs, spices, and vegetables. When adding vegetables to mixture, the food preparer must ensure that they are as dry as possible before mixing them into the dough. Chop or finely mince fresh herbs. When mixing pasta dough, the most important stage is the resting stage. If the dough is not sufficiently relaxed, it will be difficult to roll the dough into thin sheets. Pasta dough should be smooth and elastic and slightly moist to the touch. When the dough is rested 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the specific recipe, it is ready to be rolled out into thin sheets. Note, resting time depends on the type of flour and the type of amount of tenderizing agents used. Follow the resting time stated in the recipe. Hold fresh, uncooked pasta under refrigeration for a day or two, or freeze it. If it is to be stored longer, dry pasta and store it in the same manner as commercially prepared dry pasta. Serving pasta. Any sauce served with pasta must be the right consistency to complement the type of pasta. For example, long, flat pastas such as fettuccine and linguine are best served with smooth, light cream sauces. Pair tubed and twisted pastas with heavier sauces such as a thick tomato and meat sauce because they catch the sauce. Remember, the pasta can be covered and baked in a variety of ways such as lasagna. It is also important to pair the sauce with the pasta's particular flavor. For example, the delicate flavor of fresh pasta should be paired with a light cream or butter-based sauce, while heartier meat sauces are better for dried pastas. Filled pastas need only a very light sauce because the heavy sauce overpowers and conflicts with the flavor of the filling. Following some of the rules of thumb for pasta, 1 pound of dried pasta needs 1 gallon of liquid. 1 pound of dried pasta yields 3 pounds of cooked pasta. 1 pound of fresh uncooked pasta yields 2 to 2.5 pounds of cooked pasta. Boiling pasta. Bring a large pot of water to a boil and add salt. Add pasta and stir until softened and separated. Cook until done, stirring occasionally. Drain pasta in a colander or strainer. Serve pasta immediately. Pasta can be served with sauce or tossed with oil. Cooking dumplings. Make dumplings using dough or batter, or even bread and potatoes as the main ingredient. Food preparers usually shape dumplings into small, round balls. The only way to test the doneness of dumplings is to cut into one of them. Dumplings should never have a doughy, uncooked interior. Simmer dumplings in a flavorful sauce. Dumplings can be cooked in a variety of ways: simmered, steamed, poached, baked, pan-fried, deep-fried, and broiled. Simmered or poached dumplings are quite popular. In fact, most dumplings are initially cooked by poaching. After poaching them, finish in any of the ways mentioned previously. Slight additions or changes can transform pasta dough into a dumpling batter for spätzle, which is a small German dumpling, or bread-like dumplings that are tasty in stews. Gnocchi are small potato dumplings served in Italian cuisine.